Oh, hey, didn't see you there. How's it going? Excuse me, I was just trying to work out a little guitar melody. I was walking in the park today, and it was pretty crowded. You know, it's a nice sunny Saturday afternoon, and there was a dude walking by, and he was staring at his phone, and I heard this sort of country rock lick emanating from his little phone speakers. And so this is my approximation. I'm obviously far off. Sarah, good to see you tonight. Sorry I had to cut you off last time. What's going on? I was just talking about this little guitar lick that I was trying to refine. Maybe turn it into a little piece, a little demo or something to ship across the interwebs. Hello, hi. I wish I could wave again, but I can't. So what are you up to, Sarah? It's almost midnight. Oof, it's late. Well, anyway, you want a little art update? Okay, a little art update. So here, I'm almost done with this one. I mean, I'm almost ready, almost prepared, finished preparing this one. Now, there's this old samurai saying, which is when you enter into combat, to start on the edges. So that's what I've done here. And I've got one corner coming in up here. But I've got all the edges, and the edge is the most difficult part because, as I've mentioned before, if you sand too vigorously. Oh, Sarah just came home from a concert. Sarah's staying in. Oh, remind me again the name of the ville that you're staying in. It's not far from Paris. It's south of the Charles de Gaulle airport. What was the concert? Tell us about it. And if you sand too vigorously at the edges here, you risk rubbing right through the canvas. And also, because this is the last pass, I want to retain as much detail as possible. So you can see here, I've used book pages, musical notation, as well as blueprint, or diazotype, as I like to say. How do we say that? Grès-sur-Loing? Or Grès-sur-Loing? You know what I've heard is that, you know Chamonix, the ski station in France? Everyone in the US calls it Chamonix, even though it has an X at the end. And there's this French guy I know, and he calls it Chamonix. So there's a little anomaly, there's a little, you know, irregularity there. What kind of live music? Sarah saw some live music at the campground, or camping, as we say in French. So, got this one. All I have to do now is get the middle all sanded out, and I'm working on that. And then, if you were, maybe I'll put this back up here. If you saw yesterday's episode, you might remember that I was talking about this one right here. Now this one I'm doing in multi-tone paper. And so I'm going to let the paper do the work here as far as coloration goes. This is going to be a facade of a building. And it's called Théodore Amont, singer-songwriter, cover singer. Ah, cool. So what kind of covers? Was it a French person or an Anglophone person or another phone person? Was it a phone operator? Was it a telephone representative? Was it a telephone salesperson? So here I'm going to start, I think probably tomorrow. I'm going to try to get through this one behind me tonight, even at this late hour. And I'll have some podcasts and radio, internet radio stations to listen to as I do so. And I'm going to have to be real ginger, not difficult for me to get through this one, because I really don't want to have to put another layer on here. It's just so time consuming to get the layers. And then, when these are all prepared, then we enter into the painting phase. And so that'll be fun. On this one, you can see here, I'm going to put, excuse me for a minute. This is the homemade tracing paper that I made, or carbon paper. You see there it says Rue Theodore Amont. Well, Amont is cut off. I think I'm going to neglect this sign altogether because it's off center. Maybe I can shift it up. Who knows? We'll see. I think it might be a little bit too tedious. So here, as you can see, this fits right over here as far as the color zones go, more or less. Yep. And so it's going to be something like that. And so I'm going to put more graphite on the back of this so I can trace the rest of these lines and transfer the image. And then I'm going to go in with various colored inks to create the details. And you see there, I'm going to let the, you can't really see it, but tomorrow I'll have this sanded down and it will have a similar sort of randomized pattern. I wish there was a better word for that. Sarah, do you know, is there a Swedish word that describes randomized pattern? Or maybe German? Like, what's the opposite of Schadenfreude? I hope that all of you are feeling that for me at this stage. The opposite of Schadenfreude as far as my progression goes. So here's the part where oh, look at this. I found this book. So nice. You can see here it's got, look at that, 2 tones of different colored yellowed papers. This is from 1938. It's a French combat manual. And so I was about to dig into this, but I have... What kind of covers did the singer-songwriter do? Were they French covers? Reprise, as I like to say. So, this is some World War II memorabilia. It looks like they got this hot off the press right before the Jerrys invaded. And so, if you or anyone you know is an enthusiast memorabilia collector, please do let me know. And we can figure out some sort of arrangement to get this into your hands. So, that's pretty good. It's called Règlement de l'Infanterie, 12e partie, Combat. Johnny Cash and Beatles, always good. Yesterday, or they probably did, here we go. Blackbird sing in the dead of night. Take these sunken wings, learn to fly. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to arise. Blackbird fly. Blackbird fly into the light of a dark black night. Hey, glad you enjoyed that, Sarah. I hope you aren't the only one. So now, which do you prefer? Do you prefer some Zen Guitar parable or Parc de la Lumière parable, which I interpret on the fly? Which do you think? Are you in the mood for Paulo Coelho or Philip Toshio Sudo, Zen Guitar? They're both sort of similar in their advantages, in their approaches to philosophy, as a matter of fact. It's like a combat philosophy, as a matter of fact. Oh, or, yeah, you definitely should. I usually do it much earlier because I'm kind of loopy. Maybe that's why it's so fun. So, so these are all books about combat, curiously enough. But I only have a minute and a half left. So which do you prefer? See, the thing is that the YouTube views only lets me upload 15 minutes at a time. Okay, so what do you think, sir? I think I'll do the Zen Guitar because then I don't have to interpret technique. The music has generated all the techniques I use. When I sit down to learn to play something, it is not because I want to master a technique. It is because I want to hear what an idea sounds like. Okay. Pat Martino. Some teachers build entire programs around the acquisition of technique. There are schools of fingerpicking, schools of slide guitar, and schools of two hands on the fretboard. Without question, technique is essential to know, especially if you desire to play a certain style, but you will not learn the way of Zen Guitar solely through technique. In Zen Guitar, ok, bonne nuit alors, nous sommes presque finis ici. On a 30 secondes qui restent. In Zen Guitar, the acquisition of technique is for its own sake. It is not the path to musicianship. The expression is the thing, whatever that means. If you want to spend hours and hours practicing your technique, do so. By necessity, we all must spend time there. But the more complicated the technique, the more attention your mind must give to it. The aim here is to play without having to think about technique. One's main focus should be playing with the proper spirit. And I think we'll have to end that here. Sarah's going to bed. Don't forget to brush your teeth. And see you tomorrow. Bisous. Ciao.